Hello friends, a pleasant and colorful evening to everyone. Standing in front of you as I am Sai from TTWREIS Boys Kundala School, class of 10th standard, and I am here to express my views regarding to my topic. Okay friends, and today we are gathered here for the live lecture program. And friends, today I am going to discuss a very important topic. Before that, I would like to raise a few questions. Okay friends, what do you observe from this picture? As these are all the waste materials. Okay friends, after we utilize these are all the waste materials, what we do? We just throw it into the dustbin. Okay, so in the first picture, the waste materials are kept in which place? Beside the road. In the second picture, the waste materials are kept at which place? Into the dustbin. In third picture, the waste materials are kept into the garbages, right? So these are all the waste materials, right? After we utilize these are all the waste materials, we just throw it into the dustbins. Okay, here a small example is that, see friends, this is a dirty water and we need to clean this water as a clean water. Now I filter this water as a clean water. Okay, see here. Now I filtered it. Finally, the water is completely filtered out. Okay, and here you see guys, these are all the waste materials, right? And these waste materials which are presented in this water only, and now this water is a purified water. So now what I am do, because I doesn't have any uses of these waste materials, right? I just throw these waste materials into the dustbin. Okay, now I just throw this waste material into the dustbin because I doesn't have any uses by these waste materials. Okay, you have to observe here. What is this friends? As it is a beautiful toy. Okay, for making this beautiful toy, there is a lot of wastages are produced. After the toy is prepared, after this preparation is completed, what we do? We just throw those waste materials into the dustbins. Okay, so here another example is that, for example, we have to construct a beautiful apartments. Okay, to construct these beautiful apartments, some amount of wastages are produced, right? And after the construction is completed, what we do? As we take those all the waste materials and thrown into the dustbin. Okay friends, actually why do we do this? Which means we just uses this waste materials, and after we use that waste materials, we just throw those all the waste material into dustbin, right? And why do we do this? As because of to maintain clean and neat, to maintain hygiene and pleasant, to avoid diseases, and to maintain healthy environment. Okay friends, now I have to ask a small question is that, what do you observe from this picture? As extraction of minerals from the sea, and when we are extract these minerals from the sea, some amount of wastages are produces in the sea, and that type of wastages are harmful to the organism which are living into this sea, and that type of waste materials are also harmful. That type of waste materials are also pollutes the sea. Okay friends, in the similar way, there are lots of wastages are present in our body due to metabolic activities, and that metabolic reactions like respiration is a metabolic reaction, digestion is a metabolic reaction, blood circulation is a metabolic reaction, and photosynthesis is also a metabolic reaction. So during these metabolic reactions friends, some amount of metabolic wastages are generated in our body. And what are those metabolic wastages? As toxic wastages may be produced, water content may increase, and ionic substances, which means homeostasis, may be disturbed, and the waste products like carbon dioxide and water, the nitrogenous compounds like ammonia, urea, uric acid, bile pigments, and excess salts, etc. Okay, these are the metabolic wastages which are occurring in our body during the metabolic reactions. Okay friends, these are all the metabolic wastages. So to remove this type of metabolic wastages from our body, there is a special process is present in our body. And what is that process? Yes, that process is called as excretion, right? For the process of this excretion, there is a specific system is there, and that system is called the excretory system. Okay, now let's enter into the topic. Okay friend, before we enter in the topic, we should to know the terms between what is excretion and what is excretory system. Excretion means it removed of all the toxic and unwanted metabolic waste product from our body. While coming to the excretory system, the organ system which removes all the waste material from our body and form urine. This is the excretory system. Friends, in Latin, ex means out and crenere means shift. Okay friends, this type of developed excretion process and this type of developed excretory system are present in our body. Okay, now my question is that friends, do this type of excretory system is also present in the plants? Yes, of course, this type of excretory system is also present in the plant, but not similar to the animals. They extract their waste materials and they secretes like tannins, latex, resins, gums, alkaloids. So this type of excretes they secreted from their body. Okay friends, so this is the excretory system, and this type of excretory system is also present in the plants also. So now my question is that, so this type of excretory system is also presented in the different organism, right? We're discussing about that. So different organisms consist a different types of excretory system. Now we are discussing that. First, protozoa. Protozoa or excrete their waste materials by the simple diffusion from its body surface. The best example of the protozoa is that amoeba, right? Amoeba is a unicellular organism, and this type of unicellular organism, mainly these excretory systems are absent and they excrete their waste materials by their body surfaces into the surrounding of water. And next one is porifera cilienterates. So porifera cilienterates or excretes their waste materials by their cells only. The best example of porifera cilienterate is that hydra, right? Are you again hydra? Yes, hydra or excrete their waste materials by their cells only. So while coming to the platyhelminthes, so here see, this is a platyhelminthes. Okay, so this platyhelminthes or excrete their waste materials by the flame cells. While coming to the nematoda, right? Nematoda or excretes their waste materials by the renate cells. So coming to the annelids, annelids or excrete their waste materials by the nephridia. So coming to the arthropoda, arthropoda or excrete their waste materials by the Malpighian tubules and green glands. The best example of this arthropoda is that what? Cockroach. Yes, cockroach are excrete their waste materials from their body by the green glands and Malpighian body. Okay, so coming to the mollusca, mollusca are excrete their waste materials by the what? Metanephridia. Okay, while coming to the echinodermata, echinodermata or excretes their waste materials by the water vascular system. And the best example of this echinodermata is what? Starfish, because starfish are living in the seas only, right? So these starfish are excrete their waste materials by the water vascular system. While coming to the mammals, aves, reptiles. So reptiles means creeper animals like what? Snake. Aves are birds and mammals are human beings. Finally, we are also human beings, right? So from in these organisms, the excretory part is what? Kidneys, right? Kidneys are the excretory organs in a human body. Okay friends, so now discussing about the structure of the excretory system. See friends, It is a structure of the excretory system, and this excretory system is consist a pair of kidneys, and this excretory system is consist a pair of ureters, and this excretory system is consist a urinary bladder, and also this excretory system is consist a urethra. Along with that, this excretory system is also consist renal artery and renal veins. Okay, these are all the parts of this excretory system, and this excretory system is also known as urinary system because it forms it, right? As now we are going to discussing about the structure of the kidney, which means external structure of the kidney. See friends, here this is a structure of the kidney, okay, and in human beings there are pair of kidneys are present, which means two kidneys are present in our body. And where they are located, friends? As absolutely they are located in an abdominal cavity of our backside. Okay, and the size of the kidney is 10 centimeter in length, 5 to 6 centimeter in breadth, and 4 centimeter in thickness. And the shape of the kidney is bean shaped. The color of the kidney is what? Reddish brown in color. Okay, this is the external structure of this kidney. Now we are going to discussing about that internal structure of the kidney. See friends, here now what is this? It is the internal structure of the kidney, right? And this dark zone color is called the cortex. See here, this dark zone color is called the cortex, and this zone is called the medulla, and finally this zone is called the pelvis. So here some tubes were present, right? And this tube is called the what? Ureters. Right friends, here some line like structures was present, right? And that line like structure is called the nephron. Okay friends, what is this nephron? As nephrons are the actually fundamental structure of the kidney. Why this nephrons is considered as a fundamental structure of the kidney? Because each kidney is comprised millions of nephron, which means each kidney is made up of millions of nephron. That's why this nephrons is considered as a fundamental structure of the kidneys. Okay friends, now we are going to discussing about that what? Structure of the nephron. See, that is the structure of the nephron, and this nephron is consist majorly two parts. What are those? Malphizian body and renal tubules. Malphizian body consists majorly two parts, and that is Bowman's capsule and glomerulus. So Bowman's capsule is nothing but it is a cup-like structure, and this cup-like structure called Bowman's capsule, right? And this Bowman's capsule gives a space to the glomerulus, and these glomerulus are nothing but it is a bunch of blood vessels, right? And that bunch of blood vessels arises from the afferent arteriole. Okay friends, and this afferent arteriole is connected with the renal artery. Okay, so now my question is that friends, and renal tubules, right? What? So renal tubules are majorly consist three parts. So those parts are PCT, which means proximal convoluted tubules, and U-like structure is there, right? That U-like structure is called the loop of Henle, and DCT, which means distal convoluted tubule, right? Finally, there is a collecting duct is there, and these are the parts which consist this nephron. Okay friends, so mechanism of urine formation, there are some stages were involved, and do you know what are those stages? As those stages are glomerular filtration, tubular reabsorption, tubular secretion. Okay friends, now we are going to discussing about this glomerular filtration, and before that friends, already I told you that the cup-like structure is called the Bowman's capsule, right? And this Bowman's capsule consists a thin layer, right? And this thin layer is made up of a squamous epithelium tissues which contains a number of fine pores. Okay, and that type of cell is called the what? Podocytic cells, Right, come to the point, glomerulus filtration. So, in the process of glomerulus filtration, the blood is entered into this glomerular part and then the blood is filtered under the high pressure. Along with that blood, some wanted materials, some unwanted materials are also filtered out. Okay, here this filtrated blood is there, right, and this filtrated blood again re-added in our body by the efferent arteriole. Right, first the blood is entered into this Bowman's capsule by the afferent arteriole, then the filtrated blood is again re-added in our body by the efferent arteriole, and these afferent arteriole are connected with renal artery and these efferent arteriole are connected with renal veins. Okay friends, then that some wanted materials and some unwanted materials are also filtered right there. So that is enters into this Bowman's capsule. I said you that what is the Bowman's capsule? It is a cup-like structure, right? Then that blood, that urine is entered into this Bowman's capsule. Okay, and this process is called this glomerulus filtration, and this filtration is also known as what? Primary urine. Okay, so coming to the next step, that is tubular reabsorption. So the primary urine which is entered into this Bowman's capsule, it is also equal to the blood except the presence of blood cells. Okay friends, I told you that what? Some wanted and some unwanted materials are filtered there, right, in the process of glomerular filtration. Actually friends, this type of wanted materials are needed to our body. Okay, so those wanted materials again reabsorbs by the peritubular capillaries which are surrounded by the loop of Henle. Okay friends, and this is the process which is occurring in the tubular reabsorption. So finally, tubular secretion. Tubular secretion means the primary urine which is entered into this Bowman's capsule, right? Then that primary urine is entered into this PCT, which means proximal convoluted tubules, and then that urine is entered into this U-like structure is there, right? And that U-like structure is called this loop of Henle. So when that urine is reaches to this loop of Henle, and this urine is consists of some hydrogen, sodium, right, potassium. So this type of ions are consist this urine, which means on that time the urine position is what? Concentration, right? And then that urine, that concentrated urine was entered into this DCT part, which means distal convoluted tubules. There on that time some hormone is releases. Why that hormone is releases? To dilute that concentrated urine. And what is that hormone? And that hormone is called the vasopressin hormone, right? So by this vasopressin hormone, the concentrated urine was became as a dilute urine, right? And the deficiency of this vasopressin hormone is that what friends? As diabetes insipidus. And finally the blood, the urine is entered into this collecting duct. Therefore that urine is entered into this calyces, and finally that urine is entered into this pelvis. Therefore the urine is entered into this where? Ureters. See here, these are the ureters, right? This ureter, the urine is entered into this ureter, and these ureters are arises from the fissure of this kidney. This open space is called the fissure or hilum, right? And these ureters are arises from this fissure of the kidney, and it moves downward obliquely open into this urinary bladder. Okay friends, and here each ureter is in 30 centimeter in length, and the main function of ureter is what? It carries the urine from kidneys to the urinary bladder. So while coming to the urinary bladder, so it is a urinary bladder, right? And urinary bladder is nothing but friend, it is a bag like structure which stores urine, and it have a maximum capacity to store that urine is until 400 to 800 milliliter of urine it has storage. And when this urinary bladder is completely filled with urine, some nerves which are presented in our urinary bladder, they send signals to our brain, and our brain analyzes that information and tell us that what? We should pass the urine through the help of urethra, right? And I said that, friends, some nerves which are presented in the urinary bladder, right? And those nerves are called the what? Sphincter nerves. By the help of sphincter nerves, the message is going towards our brain, and our brain analyzes that message and gives us some command, that is, we should pass the urine through the help of urethra. So finally, urethra. Urethra is a pole-like structure that takes urine from urinary bladder to outside, okay? And this urethra is 4 cm long in females, and this urethra is 20 cm long in males, and the opening of urethra into females is separation, but it is in the common in the reproductive tract of males. Okay, friends, still now this is the excretory system, and still now we are discussing that kidneys are the chief excretory organs of our body. Now my question is that, friends, is there any other excretory organs are also presented in our body? Yes, absolutely, there are some other excretory organs are also presented in our body, and those organs are lungs, skin, liver, large intestine, nails, hairs. These are the other excretory organs which are presented in our body. Actually, friends, this type of organs, they have their own specific functions, but even though they carry out excretion as a secondary function. So now we're discussing about the lungs. See, friends, it is a model of the lung, right? This is a lung, and in the process of respiratory system, the lungs are releases the carbon dioxide and water. So this is the lung. While coming to the skin, see, friends, this is a skin, right? This is a skin. In human bodies, skin is the largest sense organ of our body, right? It consists a large number of sweat glands, richly supplied with blood capillaries, from which they extract sweats and some metabolic wastages. Okay, friends, we know that sebaceous glands, right? Sebaceous glands which are presented in our skin, they eliminate the sebum, which contain waxes, sterols, hydrocarbons, and fatty acids, right? This is the about the skin. So while coming to the liver, friend, see here, this is a liver, right? Actually, we know that livers are produces the bile pigments. Okay, so we know that so my question is that here, what is the lifespan of RBC, which means red blood cells? As that is 120 days, right? So after that RBC is dead, after that RBC cells are dead, then that RBC cells are enters into this liver, and they destroy by this livers only. And when that RBC cells are dead, they releases some waste materials. And you know what are those waste materials? Don't worry, I'll explain you that. Those waste materials are urochrome, bilirubin, and biliverde. These are the wastages which are generated by this dead RBC cells. Okay, friends, while coming to the large intestine, so large intestine excretes the fecal matter, which means defecation. Some amount of nitrogenous also excretes by the tears and saliva. Okay, friends, these are all the other excretory organs which are presented in our body. Okay, now my question is that, friend, if my one kidney is failed, can I survive? Yeah, absolutely I can survive. But if my both kidneys are failed, can I survive? No, I cannot survive, right? For this, complete and irreversible kidney failure is called the ESRD, which means end stage renal disease, right? And when a person's both kidneys are failed, his body filled up with excess amount of water, and his body filled up with some unwanted wastages, right? And this condition is called the uremia. And our hands, feet become swell because our body need clean blood to function properly, right? And for this there are some treatment. And what are those treatment, friends? As those treatments are dialysis machine is nothing but artificial kidney, while coming to the kidney transplantations. So now we are discussing about the dialysis machine. See here, it is a dialysis machine. It is a small working model of the dialysis machine. Okay. So actually kidneys are the vital organ for survival. Several factors like infections, injury, high blood pressures, high blood sugars or restricted blood flowing into this kidney, and it leads to accumulation of poisons to the wastage of our body, and it finally leads to death. So here see that, friends, it is a patient's body. From the patient body the blood is taken out from a main artery and mixed with an anticoagulant such as heparin. See here, it is a main artery, right? From this main artery the blood is entered into this dialyzing. This is a dialyzing machine, and some water is present in this dialyzing machine, is right? That is the dialyzer solution. So that blood is entered into these channels or tube like structure were present in this dialyzing machine, right? So in that, and these tubes are embedded with and what? Dialyzer fluid, and then the blood is entered into this dialyzer fluid. It is filtered under the high pressure. Finally that blood is again re-added in our body by this renal vein. So this is the process which is occurring in this up to 3 to 6 hours only. Simple here, friends. Dialysis machine is nothing but it is a artificial kidney. Okay, this is a temporary solution for the kidney failure patients. My question is that, is there any best long-term solution for the kidney failure patients? Yes, absolutely, there is a best long-term solution for the kidney failure patient, that is kidney transplantations. And when we are doing this kidney transplantations, it is preferably premature to the patient's body, which means when we are take the kidney from brain dead patients, it is preferably premature to the patient's body. Then only we should transfer the kidney from the patient's body. Okay, so the first kidney transplantations occurs in the year of 1951 on identical twins by Dr. Charles of Nassau. And friends, nowadays the process of organ donation, it truly helps the people, those who are suffering from the kidney failure patients, and we need to highlight this type of programs in our villages. Okay friends, this is our class, right? From our class, I think I give a small project work to you guys. So that is, observe the process of dialysis machines in our hospital and make the report on the process of dialysis machine. So it is our project work. And finally friends, my conclusion is that is we should drink plenty of water, because water is useful for filtration of urine, right? And you know that friends, today what is the special? Today is a World Kidneys Day, right? And we need to keep healthy our kidneys by drinking the water. Now it is my term. I just keep my kidneys are healthy, and now it is my term, right? As like this, I can keep my kidneys are healthy. Okay friends, from this my conclusion is that, see here, it is a excretory system, right? So this excretory system or excretes the waste materials as a process of how? Urine. So that process is occurring like this, see. Okay, actually this is the process which is occurring in the excretory system. So this is the excretory system. And now my special thanks to our okay friends, now my special thanks to our Secretary Sir Ronaldo sir for providing to us a peaceful atmosphere and conducting us this type of programs to prove our talents. And I thanks to our additional secretary and RCO David Ross sir, and I hopefully thanks to our principal sir to motivate me to participate in this program. And my best inspiration person is our principal sir G Harikrishna sir garu. And finally I conclude my class with a small wonderful quote, that is, everyone doesn't have an equal talent and everyone have an equal opportunity to prove their talents, and we should prove our talents, because how we prove our talent, which means our Gurukulams are providing a multitudinal programs to proving our talents. And thank you friends, thank you given this golden opportunity. Thank you one and all.